I took a road trip from Winston-Salem, North Carolina to Atlanta, Georgia.
Tried playing tennis, found out it was about 100 times harder than it looked.
My first stop was in Greenville, South Carolina.
What the fuck?
My GPS took me to Field Street, which looked like more of a pedestrian area right beside the ballpark.
Are we joking right now?
There was free street parking for 2 hours. This is Fluor Field, home of the Greenville Drive, a high A affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. And this is the Shoeless Joe Jackson House and Museum. It's open Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the admission was $7. I was just in time for the tour.
It's really interesting to compare those other size bats and the weight bats. That can stay in the down corner again. The smaller one is a bat that Joe Jackson's nephew played with. It's just there to compare. It's two of the movies that referenced the Joe Jackson in his career. So feel free, please, to peek at some of those and swing some bats if you want. And when the group is ready, I'll meet you up on the ramp. Okay, cool. Is where baseball career started. And what these are, as we walk up the aisle, back in the day, textiles were thing. Every town had textiles to attract workers in baseball. Joe was born into poverty. His daddy took a job at one of these mills, which is up the top here, and Joe started working there when he was 16 years old. 13 years old. But by 13, they said, this guy's a ball player. And they said, come on to the team, we'll pay you, $1.25 an hour or a game.
1958.
I used to work in automobiles. $1.80 an hour. That's a pretty good pick.
1958.
Job pays you $1.71 an hour.
Please visit my YouTube channel about movies. It's called Check Out This Movie. Like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this guy's all right.
And so at 13 years old, he became the youngest textile mill player in the history of the textiles. The textile leagues were superb baseball. Superb baseball. There weren't really many other avenues where you could play. I see the football jacket or sports jacket. I'm sure there's 10 different teams you can go play on now if you wanted to. Back in the day, it was just textile baseball. Here is a full list of the textile leaguers who actually made it to the major leagues. And then they got a minor league team, and everyone said, you got to go check out that Brandon Mill kid, Joe Jackson. And they did. They signed him, and that was his first foray into professional baseball. And behind y'all right there, imagine playing in the hot summers of Greenville with that wool uniform. I mean, that's a true replica. This house was actually moved about 3 miles away. I think there's a picture in here somewhere. That room in there just has a lot of historical books, a lot of visual artifacts. That, when I first started working here, volunteering here, I couldn't keep myself on. I just And so far, we talked about how he jumped on the Brandon Mill team at 13 years old. He was just so good. And then in 1908, we talked about the Greenville Spinners and his first professional contract. And at 20 years old, he won the Greenville. He won the batting title. Believe it or not, it happened one game. Some local newspaper reporter heard a fan yell, "That shoeless son of a bitch," because guy hit a ball and Joe ran it down in the gap, and one of the sports writers overheard a fan from the other side saying, "Get that shoeless SOB off the field," and the newspaper guy reported it the next morning and said, "Shoeless Joe Jackson wins game for Spinners." He said it made him seem like the Southerner that he made him sound. Yeah. They said it made him sound really, hick. So anyway, that's how he got his nickname Shoeless, playing is because he was wearing a new pair of cleats that day, and they were giving him blisters on his feet. So he took them off and played 3 or 4 innings in his stocking feet because the shoes were killing him, and also hit a triple in his bare feet. So it happened one game. He never played without shoes again, but the moniker stuck. And I will tell you, he didn't like it. So in 1910, he made it to the major leagues. And we know about the 1919 World Series. We'll talk a lot about that coming up with it. He said he was able to fool him a little bit, but at the end, his illiteracy was a big part of his downfall. He was out of town, and they had to have a contract signed, so someone said, "Here's what," and the story goes, he was told something that wasn't really in there, and he couldn't verify because he couldn't read, so.
City of Cleveland, 1950. If you had a TV, you were watching that Sullivan show. Yeah. I think we've never had an opportunity either. Yeah.
Joe came to Philadelphia, and he was fish out of water. Connie Mack, the Hall of Fame manager, Joe always said, "This is the best manager, the best man I've ever played for." He just couldn't deal with the fans, and they were merciless. And Joe got traded to Cleveland, where he really, really thrived. But while he was in Cleveland, it was called the Cleveland Naps. And the reason why it was called the Cleveland Naps is because the manager was a Hall of Famer by the name of Nap Lajoie. There's Eddie Collins, Ty Cobb, Smokey Joe Wood, Hal Chase, Tris Speaker, Sam Crawford, Home Run Baker. There's a reason for that. You've heard of the dead ball era versus the live ball era, and it took a lot to hit a home run. In fact, most of those home runs were inside park home runs.
Really? Like really?
Yep. Put it on and see what you feel like. Here, check this out. There's really no padding. It's really,
See the blades shaking?
No. Does anybody have any thoughts or preconceived ideas of what really happened how Joe Jackson got banned from baseball?
Well, they got acquitted,
They did
but it was Tennessee Mountain Landis
Judge Mountain Landis.
who said make an example.
You're right. Judge Kennesaw Landis, who was the new commissioner at the time, he knew there was gambling going on. The gamblers were socializing with the players. Even though they dismissed the case against Joe and the other 7 players, Kennesaw Landis said, "I don't care, I'm making an example out of you," and he suspended all 8 for lifetime, even though he was acquitted and correct.
What year was this?
1919. The common story is the owner for the White Sox was cheap, and he did everything he could to pay the players as less as they can. So when the gamblers came, offered him money, the players were like, "Absolutely, our owner is cheap." That's not the case. He did have the highest payrolls, but they were winning. And that's one of the reasons why he kept investing. So that is a myth. The owner of the White Sox was not cheap. Eddie Cicotti was one of the main culprits. He was the pitcher, and he was one of the leaders, the ringleaders. Another myth is that he was promised a bonus by Comiskey, didn't get it. This is the one that surprised me. The players approached the gamblers, and it was just a clique of the hard-drinking, rebellious players who thought, hey, here's a chance to make a quick buck. Everybody's doing it, why don't we? Joe was offered through Lefty Williams $20,000 to throw the series. He said yes. In total, they were offered $100,000 by the gamblers. They ended up getting $25,000. They got screwed. The gamblers took the money instead. But at the end of the day, the truth is, Joe got $5,000 out of the $20,000 he was promised. Honestly, he was a businessman.
So did he go back to school and get his?
No, never did. Never, ever did.
He owned lots of businesses, right?
A liquor store.
He
He had dry cleaning businesses. He owned pool halls. And in his spare time, he went out and made money playing for they called it the Outlaw League.
We don't have one medal. We just have
Jackson had the 1919 American League at a 350 career batting average. Shoeless Joe and the White Sox lost the 1919 World Series 8 games to the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, look at this. Oh, my goodness.
Cordell seemed to grin. Lewis wasn't sure. Looking over at Lewis sitting on the couch with the parts of the newspaper spread out next to him.
I arrived at the Ty Cobb Museum in Royston, Georgia. Or I guess maybe this way?
Well, why were you following us?
Hey, how are you?
That's our concern with the Royce Police Department.
Hey.
Mind if I get your driver's license?
Sure.
Insurance,
It's right here.
The reason I'm stopping is your registration expired in September of 2024.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
What are you talking about?
That's almost a couple years ago.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I don't own the car.
I'm so sorry. I did not know that.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Shit. Come on, man. Shit. That is bullshit.
Thank you for calling Erie Insurance. Please listen carefully as our menu has changed. You can start the process by locating
I'm working on it. No, thank you.
Just make sure you get it and keep a copy if you're going to drive through Georgia, okay?
Yes, sir. I'm really sorry.
So I can't give you a warrant on something that's almost 2 years expired.
Sure, I understand. I mean, yeah.
There's a court date on the 6th of July at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or there's some instructions on the backside if you wish to take care of it online or over the phone.
Okay.
Here, I'd just say wait until at least Tuesday afternoon, it being a holiday weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
to get done.
Okay.
All right.
Fuck me. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm okay now.
This is the Ty Cobb Museum in Royston, Georgia. As soon as you walk in, there's a display with a lot of bats, with significant dates in Ty Cobb's career. This display is about his early family life. This is a display about the Ty Cobb Memorial Hospital. It says the hospital built with a bat. Seems that Mr. Cobb was a hunter.
Well, that season was shortened due to the Great War.
The golf tournament with Babe Ruth. Most stolen bases in one season, 1915.
This Georgia boy was ready to answer.
There's a couple of Peanuts cartoons that mention Ty Cobb.
However, during one exercise, we missed the signal. We were exposed. I had been in France less than a month, and the war ended on November 11th. In just a few weeks.
In this room, they show a video about Ty Cobb's life.
Great war took place across several continents, at sea, and for the first time ever in the air.
Silver Slugger, the 1911 batting title, presented in 1960.
The epidemic swept the world in 1918 and killed an estimated 50 million people worldwide. In the United States, 675,000.
So much cool stuff in this display, including his MLB golden ticket to go to any game, and a seat from Navin Field in Detroit. There's a Ty Cobb signature from 1956. And here's an award for his 4,190 hits. And here is a Pete Rose signed baseball, 4,256 hits. A Ty Cobb autograph from 1960. This is the Be Good letter that Ty's father wrote for him, and it says that Ty carried this letter folded in his wallet. So the bats all have important dates. First professional game, first to 100 hits in the Sally League, bunt single, lone hit off of Rube Waddell, that's awesome. First hit off of Walter Johnson, that's awesome. Played in first of 3 straight World Series, endorsement with Coca-Cola. It's really neat. Second batting crown, 324 average. There's a first American League batting crown with a 350 average, 1907. The lady in the gift shop was really nice.
Hello.
She insisted that I have a souvenir baseball because she didn't think I spent enough time. I told her that I got my fill, and I saw everything I wanted to, and I enjoyed it. And then I saw the Ty Cobb bobblehead, and bought that for $27. This is the Cobb family mausoleum in Rose Hill Cemetery on Old Elbert Road. And a dang Pizza Hut. This Waffle House is a filming location in Clint Eastwood's 2018 movie, The Mule.
What a load of shit. How about that? The hell is it with kids nowadays?
It was 3:30 p.m. and I could have just gone to my hotel, but it was only 3:30 p.m. So I decided to go through downtown Atlanta. There's the Olympic Torch Tower from the 1996 games. There's an elevator all the way to the top. It's over 120 feet tall. That's over 12 stories to you and me. This is the site of Fulton County Stadium, where Hammering Hank Aaron hit his 715th home run on April 8, 1974, passing Babe Ruth for the all-time home run record. The actual wall section has been removed, as the site is under construction. I didn't want to get back onto I-85, so I decided to weave my way through the neighborhoods. Oh. Stay on the street. Stop trying to put me on the fucking highway. Shit! God damn it! God fucking damn it! Fuck!
Don't, jackass!
How the hell I get myself into this shit?
I made a second call to the police. I called 911 immediately. I'm sure you saw from the dash cam footage, this guy turned left in front of me. He came over and he said, like, I hit him, but he turned left in front of me.
I cannot stand these morons any longer.
He said he didn't have a driver's license.
You gotta be kidding.
And he wanted my information, and he said that's like standard procedure, but I said, look, whenever the cops get here and we get an incident report, I'll do that if that's what they tell us to do, but I'm just waiting for the cops to get here.
You hoodlums don't own these streets.
And after about 45 minutes, they proceeded to turn on their car and pull out like they were going to leave.
You never got away with this, you little mister!
And I got my camera ready, and they sat there for a while. I was able to get a picture of the damage on the side of their car. And then they left.
Where the devil are you going?
And I got a clear enough picture of their license plate, I think, to do something. I called a local precinct.
I'm calling it in.
You know, because, I don't know, just nothing was happening. I know it's a non-emergency, but Officer Brown said he would send somebody out this way. It was kind of ironic that it was at a collision center.
Well, I'll be damned.
I'm pretty sure the car will drive. I'm pretty sure the wheels will turn. There's no fluids underneath it. So I'm still waiting. I mean, it's been like another 45 minutes. I would go ahead and go to the hotel myself because the car drives and everything, and I'm obviously not getting anything out of them.
I'm sorry you lost all that money, sir.
I really wanted to file the report since they left, and I really wanted to show them the picture of that license plate because kind of fuck them for leaving.
Fangu, you.
It's close to 7, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. 6:48. And I was only 12 minutes away from my hotel. And I have had a great day up until this point.
How disappointing.
This is the La Quinta Perimeter Medical. It's in a place called Sandy Springs. Only one exit east of the ballpark. I got this through hotels.com at right around $100 a night for 2 nights. That light works. Little desk area. I need to crank the AC up. This is the 7th floor, room 720. Decent TV. It was a mini fridge, coffee maker, and microwave. That's pretty good. Let's see in here. Got sticky floors. Ironing board, iron. Luggage rack. Decent little bathroom with double doors, single sink. Nicely lit vanity. Towels. And shower with sliding doors. And no soaps or anything, at least not the dispensers. There we are, there's a couple bars of soap. So, it's been a day. It was going really good.
No, everything's fine, just fine.
So the cop finally came and took my information and got me an incident number, and I gave him the picture of the license number. So I gotta find something to eat. There's so many good-looking food options around here. Check out the restaurants in Sandy Springs, Georgia. This is Hump Daddy, Burger Bar. The owner, whose name was on the door, took my order, and I talked with a nice staff member for a while.
That surprises you?
They had my brand in a heavy, icy goblet. I got the double Wagyu smash burger, $25, including $4 tip.
Scheduled to take that production again today. Waiting Rockstars for right field. Drilled down.
The next day. When I got to the hotel and turned the car off, I noticed that my headlight indicator on the dash was still lit. So the smashed headlight is pulling power from the battery. When I came out in the morning and looked in the window, it was dark. and I knew my battery was dead. Thankfully, the first car that came along, I was standing there with my jumper cables in my hands, and they stopped and got me going. I got parking in N25 for $64 through SeatGeek. It was an 8-minute walk to the ballpark. This kid is giving Phil Necro's knuckleball the chop. There are public restrooms outside of the orange deck. And there's a dog.
And get autographs, and that's exactly what we're about to do right now.
I am good. Braves are playing well. Oh yeah, definitely. Life's good. I love watching her play at the TED, by the way. I appreciate it. A lot of fun. Thank you. Oh, that's good.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
What's up? Thank you. You got it, man.
That's a great signature, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right along the main concourse, they have a really nice Braves Hall of Fame. These are some Braves who have made it to the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Cy Young, Kid Nichols, Hoyt Wilhelm, Warren Spahn, Gaylord Perry, Bruce Sutter, Phil Necro, Enos Slaughter, Hank Aaron, Orlando Cepeda, Red Shandiest, and Tony La Russa. I met Tony La Russa when he spoke at the Carolina Theater in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Of course they did. Yeah.
Of course, there are plenty of ballpark food options. The game I went to was on Memorial Sunday. Pitcher Miles Mikolas was looking for a Nationals fan in the stands to throw a ball to.
Thank you, sir. You're the man. Thank you. You can go next. One more. Gracias.
My seat is somewhere all the way at the top on the first base side. This is the view from the seats in front of the chop house. Escalators to the upper deck are a real bonus. I found this cool display in the upper deck concourse. The gate for Braves Field is still standing. It's part of the Boston University Police Department at Nickerson Field. Milwaukee County Stadium, with its red fencing around the field, was Cleveland Municipal Stadium in Major League.
Watch this! Taylor is pointing to the bleachers. He's calling his shot.
There were several of the same food options available upstairs. Across from the Braves Hall of Fame, there are 2 World Series trophies, including this one from 1995. And this tribute to Henry Aaron's 715th home run.
Nationals shirt on. Oh, it's not him.
There's this photo op outside the main team store. They had huge slices of pizza.
square goes straight down, the changeup has a lot more fade. And he's already shown up.
This is the vault. It had high-end memorabilia and autographs. Warren Spawn's Purple Heart and his service uniform. Section 416, row 5, seat 19, on the end. It was slightly obscured by the railing, and you just had to lean forward a bit. Meemaw was on the Jumbotron and got quite the ovation.
They played The Lion Sleeps Tonight for Sandy Leone. Strike one. Good. Strike two. Close one. 1 and 2. 2 and 2. First and third, nobody out. Michael Harris hitting 292. 11 dingers. Dirt ball, 1 of them. Oh, he beat him! Oh, bases are loaded. Bases loaded for Eli White. Dirt ball. Ball 2. Only 1 out. Double play to end the threat. Alright, if they put it on us, you know, I don't know.
Not the question. That is not the deal. Okay, sorry.
Oh yes, of course, of course. Nats have runners on the corner with no outs. They ripped a double off that brick wall in right field. And then
A nice single up the middle. This is Nassam Nunez, only batting 183, no home runs. Uh-oh. The Nats are gonna score. The base hit for Nunez, an RBI, his 16th RBI. And here comes the coach for a mound visit. It's James Woods.
You kidding me? It was good. That sucks.
The left fielder. 255, 13 home runs. Nubs it off. Down the line. That'll do it. They escape. They only give up 1 run. The Rains have returned. During Sandy Leone's at bat. He's down 0-2. One out. They're heading for the concourse. He might beat it out. We are completely covered in the 400 section. Everybody else is fleeing for the concourse in the rain. Don't ever let them talk junk about the cheap seats. CJ Abrams is one of the cool players for the Nats. There's a high pop-up foul on the left side. Come on, CJ. He's an exciting player. I think he's a shortstop. Yep, shortstop. Oh, that's terrible, CJ. Two outs. There's a pretty sweet picnic area, concourse outside of the 400 level. Matt Olson, 2-0, 1 out. Got a little bit of a shift on the infield defensively. 3-0 as the rain continues to fall. Shot through the middle, 3-hopper. Plenty of time. He's out. Ozzie Albies, 2 outs. Facing a 1-2 count. Oh, ripped it past the third base coach. Poked out to right field. And that will retire the side. There goes the tarp. It is raining like crazy.
It's on us now, and there are suddenly curtains of rain coming down. And we are going to stop this thing at 6:06 Eastern with a score 1-0 Washington into the top of the 7th.
The grounds crew got the tarp off the field, and they were working really hard to make the field playable.
It's time to resume baseball. When it's all said and done, it's going to be an 89-minute rain delay. It was an absolute monsoon.
Made it back to the hotel. It is 8:20. I didn't make it through the rain delay. They were almost had the field ready, but it was 7 o'clock, and I was worried that if I waited until the end of the game, then a lot of the crowd had left during the rain delay, and if I got to the parking lot and there was nobody out there, I wouldn't be able to get a jump.
I'm scared.
So a couple cars passed by and didn't stop, but there was a patrol car sitting there, and they'd been sitting there, and they, saw what was happening. And also, I left my window down the whole time. In that rainstorm, so I have a wet butt now. Great move. Great job. The patrol officer came over and asked, and I told her, I got in a wreck the other day. I'm from North Carolina. It's pulling power. My battery's dead. And she had another officer en route with one of those jumper thingies, and he jumped me right off, and that was just great. Thank you, Atlanta's finest.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and will blow your head clean off.
So I got to the gas station, and really quick, got gas, got smokes, got some beers, and the car started back up. Went to Wendy's drive-thru, so I didn't have to turn it off. I got the best strategic parking spot I could for the morning. So hopefully I'll have to stand out there in the morning and hopefully flag someone down with my jumper cables, and hopefully somebody will get me going.
It's not much fun, believe me.
Fun little side note, when I was first walking around the ballpark, I ran into a lady that spotted my Billy Goat Tavern t-shirt, and she said, "Have you been there?" And I said, "Yes, a couple of times." And she said she had just been there a couple months ago. And I said, "That's cool." But she had only seen the 1970s Saturday Night Live skit.
No Coke, Pepsi. Okay, Pepsi and French fries. No fries, cheap.
Cheeseburger, 4 Pepsi, too cheap.
Well, because first I mentioned, the old man died a couple days ago. She said, "Oh, really? I didn't know that." And she told me about the SNL skit. And I said, then she read the back of the shirt about the curse. And so she didn't know about that. So I regaled her with the entire story of the goat falling off the truck and him claiming the goat as his new mascot and starting to grow a Billy Goat goatee and calling it the Billy Goat Tavern. And then he tried to take the goat to the World Series in, I believe, the 30s. I think 35.
What are you talking about, clown?
And they wouldn't let the goat in, so he said, you're cursed forever. And the curse lasted until 2016 when the Cubs broke it.
The next day.
Well, I'll tell you something. This is no longer a vacation. It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Thank you so much. All right. Got a jump start from a couple that was parked right next to me that was packing their cars. That was fantastic. They had, some sort of European accent.
Fromage?
Fancy, nice folks. That was absolutely perfect. Known as the Hollywood of the South, Covington, Georgia has served as a filming location for over 140 movies and TV shows since the 1950s. This is Covington, Georgia's famous town square, featured in the first 4 episodes of The Dukes of Hazzard, and the courthouse building and its clock tower.
Hey, you see that? See what? The bait shop, having a sale on worms and crickets. Well, if he don't sell them now, he's going to have to feed them all winter.
In Season 1, Episode 5, High Octane, the Duke boys meet Uncle Jesse at the courthouse for their parole hearing, and they park right in front.
Well, it's about time you two got here.
They walk this way, towards and up the steps, and to the front door of City Hall.
We can think of something.
Sure you can. You get a combustion engine to run on hot air.
Covington, Georgia also serves as Mystic Falls from the Vampire Diaries.
Terrific. We're out of beer, Victor.
And Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise land a plane in Covington's town square in Cannonball Run. This is City Hall on the campus of Emory University, and this is where the Dukes of Hazzard's first big jump happened, at least the one that was used then in the opening sequences of the show. They came down here and jumped right about there on a dirt mound and took flight and landed over here, jumping over Roscoe's patrol car. This is really awesome to be right here where that jump happened. This is Candler Hall, right down here from Seeney Hall. And this was an interior filming location in the episode One Armed Bandits, where Boss Hogg and Roscoe have the slot machines. It was only used for interior shots. So I'm going to take a look, maybe even pull on the door, and see if we can see the interior. Of course, it's Monday. Memorial Day observed. Nope, locked. Oh yeah. So you can see that railing up there. Boss and Roscoe were up there. So there we have it.
See, the Duke boys put them all over, in all the civic clubs, you know.
There's a squirrel. Alright, looks like we got a visitor over here. Yes, that's true, that's it. Bridge out ahead, that's hilarious. Here's another filming location in that first chase sequence. And the train crossing arms would have been down, and they swerved through there, and then they hooked a quick right and went up that way. Here's another angle of that, and get to see the old caboose. It would come up here and go on that way. That's cool. Here's some old railroad spikes. We're definitely going to help ourselves to one of those. Let's see this guy here. Yeah, that's fantastic. I thought they tore this building down. This is the location of the Boar's Nest from the Dukes of Hazzard.
The Boar's Nest, owned by Boss Hogg, is the slickest club in Hazzard. All the elite go there.
This is Boss Hogg's office and little honky tonk, where Catherine Bach worked as Daisy Duke. Wow, that's so much fun. Can't wait. We're gonna have to go take a look-see. I thought they tore this building down. This is amazing. This is almost like hallowed ground. So, you know, the gas pumps are out here in the center somewhere. And, you know, there was like a covering over, like a little walk-in before you got to the door.
I swear, if women was birds, you'd probably date a buzzard. And you date a crane. No meat.
Wow, 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 wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Daisy drove Roscoe's patrol car right around this circle, and he was chasing them in a flatbed or something that had a piano in it.
Follow that car!
Wow. Wow. One more parting shot. The Boar's Nest. I got myself a rock, so we'll write on that. Put the name and the date. We were here. It sounds silly, but you know, that was my favorite show when I was a kid. And I still think it's one of the best shows ever made. And amazing performances with Sorrel Brook, James Best, Sonny Schroyer, Rick Hurst, John Schneider, Catherine Bach, Tom Wopat, Ben Jones, and trying to think of old Jesse's name. It escapes me just now. Denver Pyle. Denver Pyle. This is awesome. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get home. We're gonna get home. 5 hours and 2 minutes, 315 miles. It's 11:04. This is pretty much exactly what I planned on being at, so pretty awesome. We're gonna make it, maybe. We've got a few miles to go. That's a 45-mile-an-hour road here, but I'm caught in one of Roscoe's speed traps.
You got to really give it your all every time. If you can't do that, yeah, you got to put it in your chest.
Oh, you crazy, wonderful dog.
Lake Hartwell is a few feet low.
Now
I've got an hour and a half to go. I got a battery light on. It's been on for like 45 minutes. Never seen this light before. It's not good. We're cruising along. The temperature gauge has been dropping to like almost cool. Like I've never seen it this cool unless the engine has been off. I don't understand what's going on, but it keeps getting cooler. I don't even know what's going on. I'm just praying and holding on. We got 100 miles to go. Well, here's the current situation. The temperature continued to fall on the engine, and I looked it up while I was driving, and it said likely is the thermostat is stuck open, and with 65 plus, it's like freezing the engine. So it did eventually shut down.
I don't need this bull hockey.
I'm on the side of I-85, heading northbound. Just made it at right around 100 miles from home. AAA will tow 100 miles, but they won't tow you if your registration isn't good. And as you know, the registration isn't good. So they told me to call Star 47 Highway Patrol. So they're on their way, which if it's just replacing a thermostat, that should be a piece of cake.
That's dumb.
And then I can get home.
You're dumb.
Found some shade, there's tall grass, there's nowhere to sit. I got a little Gatorade, I got 70% battery on my phone, and I don't have to pee. But I called my buddy who's watching the cats and dogs, and he said no problem, he'd feed them and take care of them. But right now we don't know when we're gonna get home or how much it's gonna cost.
This is fantastic. Thank you.
Well, the DOT IMAP truck is here. They got traffic moved over one lane. And this guy's rear window came down, so he's in there and he spoke to the DOT guy, so I'm waiting my turn. Okay, so the Nissan just needed gas, and the NC DOT guy gave him about a half-gallon gas and got him up the road. I got another tow truck on the way, and then this guy said, since it's a thermostat, he said, why don't you just get towed to the local auto parts store and fix the thermostat, because there's an auto parts store right at the next exit.
How about that?
Okay, that's great. However, I've been afraid to pop the hood because I was afraid I couldn't latch it back down in Atlanta and I wouldn't be able to drive home.
I'm calling you yellow.
So, the hood is being held down by the messed up light lid, and so we pop the hood, but you can't get your fingers to the release. So we're gonna try popping this loose right there so that we can move that over so that we can lift the freaking latch right there. Maybe we can fix this thermostat. Woo! We got the hood open with his pry bar and located the thermostat, which isn't hard. It's just right behind the radiator, between the radiator and the engine block. And the thermostat should be cheap and readily available. And hopefully now we're just getting towed to the very next exit where all the parts stores are. And we should be able to get the thermostat, and we should be able to drive home, and we shouldn't have to pay a big tow bill.
You're dumb.
And I tried to pay the registration online since it's 1996, but I don't have the last 5 digits of my title handy. Now we're getting dropped off at the AutoZone. And it continues at the AutoZone, and they don't have the thermostat.
Shut up!
It was $150 to get towed 1 mile. And they don't have it. I could have chose the Advance or the AutoZone. They're both equidistant. I chose the AutoZone. They don't have it.
Man, get out my face.
So then I had to call the Advance like a dummy and say I chose the wrong one. And she said, yes, you did. She has the thermostat. She has the thermostat gasket. I have now ordered an Uber to take me to the Advance and then an Uber back. Then we'll try to fix it again. And yes, obviously what I should have done when I was waiting for the tow truck is call AutoZone in advance and figure out which one had it before I just got towed randomly to the one that didn't have it. That was another blunder on my part.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Update of idiocy continues. My brother and his wife Maggie, thank you Maggie, just reminded us that my last 5 digits of my title is on my registration card in my wallet. So now I'm going back to NC DMV with my title number, and I'm still going to get the Uber, and I'm still going to get the thermostat. I got the gasket, I got the thermostat, which is right here. All we have to do is take off this hose, which is just held on by a couple screws, and we need some pliers to take this hose loose, and that's about it.
Walk away from it.
Oh yeah, so I went online to try to renew my registrations, and it said, can't make this online, gotta come in. So I guess since my registration was so far out, cannot renew it online.
Diabolical.
So I get the hood up and I hear this clicking coming from the headlight over here, which has been pulling the power. So this fuse right here is what's been clicking the whole time, pulling power. So I can get this fuse taken apart and just detached, then hopefully it'll stop pulling power. It's 6:09 p.m. So AutoZone has a little cart of tools that you can borrow real quick. All we need is these couple of things. Intake plastic housing is off, hoses are off, bolts are out of the thermostat. 2 different size bolts, but they came out pretty easily. So now if we can just get this thing off of here and get it replaced. Okay, I got that housing off. I'm gonna have to clean up this. And I was gonna say too, I had to pry this off with the screwdriver, but you gotta be really careful not to damage this edge or it will never seal up.
What are you, my mother?
The old gasket was seen its day. Okay, the housing's back on. Gasket and thermostat seem to fit. Sealed up tight, as tight as you can do it. Don't want to strip anything. You gotta be really careful you don't round these things off in the parking lot or you're just really in trouble.
No shit.
Still, for the life of me, can't get this plug out quite yet, so it's still ticking. I'm not gonna lie, that was a bitch getting those little clips loose. So I had to flip this around and get these guys off of there, and they are different, and so I had to mark them. There's different wires. I just take a picture and note which ones are which. But it really turned out to be this plug, that yellow in there, this one that was doing all the chirping. Oh my god. Alright, we were all back together and we got it jumped running. It was still leaking, so I took this stuff back apart to see if I could get it a little tightened, and the entire housing is broken. The thermostat housing is broken.
Holy mackerel, this is awful!
And that is a non-in-stock part. It has a special order, take a couple days. This car isn't going anywhere today, so now I guess my brother's on the way to pick me up about an hour and a half away.
I need you, you son of a bitch.
And it's raining, but they don't close till 10, and it's 7 or something, so... Okay, so now I have a new plan.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear about it.
So the AutoZone guys were pretty cool, and they took down my information in case the silly car gets towed or something. I could figure out where the hell it went. I can go to the DMV tomorrow. They'll free up my tags. I can get AAA to come and get my 100-mile tow to get the car home. The only thing is, the key would need to be present so they can put it in neutral and tow it on the truck. So that means I'd have to come down. And we might get out of this jam by tomorrow.
It sucks.
I did a little bit of an early selly on getting everything back together, when in fact I had snapped the house.
How dumb can you get?
But I got all my goodies bagged up, and all my souvenirs, and all my railroad ties, and bits of metal and rocks, and bobbleheads, and shirts, and autographs, and baseballs, and caps, and laptops, and everything, and got a nice cold beverage from inside. They let me use the restroom, and we got one super hot beer that was in the trunk. That is awful to drink, but I guess it's helping a little bit.
I'm having a bad day.
My brother should be in here about 20 minutes. And it's the Hurricanes Eastern Division or Eastern Conference Final tonight. Probably starting right about now. His daughter is a big Canes fan and goes to NC State in Raleigh. I just kind of realized that he's coming here to pick me up, and he's essentially going to miss watching the game with his daughter, who's, you know, off for summer break, and mom and sister and everything, so... That just hurts. That hurts.
It stinks!
You ought to be home with your mom.
On play by Svechnikov. Here's Aho with Jarvis. Seth Jarvis score! Into the empty net. It is now 6-1.
So we got all the way home. He got out of the car and shut the door, and I went to hit the unlock button to get my stuff out of the back, and must have hit the lock button, and shut the door and locked the truck with it running and with his phone in it.
You piece of shit.
Luckily, my neighbor Larry, who watches the dog and cats, had one of those inflatable things to help you get into your car. But we were unsuccessful, so we had to call AAA.
There you are.
The next day.
I put my truck on the charger last night. It's been sitting for a while. The tags were out on it, of course, but I paid that online this morning.
Okay.
And drove my truck to work, and I got an Uber to the Enterprise rental car and arranged for a car to drive back to Charlotte to meet the tow truck driver. So since my plates, and I got my plates fixed on the Miata for about $77. So now AAA should tow my car back. It's 97 miles, so we'll be just under that 100-mile limit.
Oh, guys, I've matured. You know, I'm learning a lot more.
So anyway, I got to tell you about my Uber driver. Really nice gentleman. Told me instantly he was 61, and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, hey, man, freaking looking great. He said, yeah, I've been kind of exercising a little bit, trying to get back together and everything. I said, man, it's working, you know. I need to do some of that myself.
It's going to get weird now, isn't it?
So he pretty instantly tells me that when he was younger, and he was 25, he dated a, like, 65-year-old woman who was, like, friends of his mom or something like that. But he said, yeah, so my mom was gone, and she came over, and he said, my mom's gone. She said, I know.
Now you understand.
And then she said, why don't you give me some wine? And he said, okay. And then she said, where's your bedroom? He said, it's right over here. And then she took her luggage, which apparently she had, and said, I'm going to go into your room, and I'm going to take a shower. And then she goes in the shower, and he said he was standing outside the door, actually. But she said she called him and said, I need you to come get in the shower, and you can, I can wash your back and everything. And so that's how it went down.
Bottoms up. I know mine will be.
And then he said that his son had passed away. His 38-year-old son had passed away. And at first he said he was smoking something, and it had fentanyl in it. He's 38 and he died. So he had to go to the funeral home with his dad, and his dad came into town. And then 3 weeks later, his dad passed away. So he was dealing with that. And then, I'm not sure the time distance, but I don't think it was too awful much. His daughter had a sudden infant death syndrome with an 8-month-old baby. So it is all just really horrible.
God damn it.
And then come to find out that the son that had passed away, his girlfriend and another guy had conspired to put the fentanyl in his drink. It was not something that he had been smoking, and it had fentanyl in it. And so they rounded up her and the guy that gave her the fentanyl, knowing she was going to put it in the drink, and the guy that sold it to him. But they were all up on charges.
Shame. Shame. Irresponsible ingrate.
He's Ubering. He said he was a truck driver, and he used to drive trucks, and he was having all this tragedy in his life. So he got an offer from Sheetz to drive trucks for Sheetz Gas, and he said Sheetz was going to give him like $45 or $50 an hour. It was a pretty good deal, but he just decided he was just in a better place Ubering. And he was telling me how when Uber started, all the guys were picking up female passengers and kind of hitting on them and dropping them off at their house, which they have the address for now, and then sending them flowers. And he said causing all kind of ruckus with their husband, because he's like, who's this person sending flowers? And so they had to tighten up the rules. And he said, so sometimes he drives for Lyft too. And then Lyft, he said, started out with like all women drivers, but then they were getting hit on by their lady passengers. And to quote him, he said that the Lyft driver said that was worse than the guy. All news to me. I don't know any of this stuff. So, and he even told me that, you know, while he was in that terrible despair of losing all those family members all back to back, that he, you know, contemplated everything. And he said he was looking around in his medicine cabinet and thinking about combining all these things and going to sleep. He said he called the crisis hotline number, and they said, we're on their way to get you. So he didn't specify about where he went or for how long. But the crisis center responded very immediately to his calling in and saying he's thinking about harming himself, which I thought that was pretty good, that they would respond that quickly and not pass it off.
You're damn right they did it.
I can't believe this shit.
Eight days later.
The parts just arrived. There's the new housing, and there's the busted one. Try to get this thing back together. The thermostat is back in there. We got our gasket, and I got some gasket maker on there. And we got it fitted in just right and torqued down. And I was watching a Flying Miata video about doing this, and the guy mentioned one way that you can break your thermostat housing.
And there's a little machined groove on the water neck. That's what the thermostat fits into. And then we'll slip our gasket into place. Make sure you're holding your thermostat the whole time, because if it pops down, you can actually crack your thermostat housing if you tighten it down.
We're going to put all this back together. I'm going to let this sit overnight, and then we'll put some fluids in it in the morning. There's Paprika Cat. And here are my goodies from the trip. I got this Brave shirt for signing up for Chevrolet emails. because I am in the market for a car. They asked what income was. It was the lowest bracket. They asked what car you were interested in. Obviously the Corvette Stingray. Here's a program from the game. Here's a shirt I got from the Shoeless Joe house. It has his lifetime batting average on it. I bought this baseball with the Braves logo on it, basically to get a bag because my pockets were getting full. Here's a brochure from the Ty Cobb Museum. These are 2 of the autographs I got before the game. Here's my rock from the Boar's Nest. Here's my Ty Cobb bobblehead. Here's the Ty Cobb baseball that I got from the museum, and the 2 autographs that I got at the game. And here's my railroad tie, and this piece of metal that I also found at the same place as the railroad tie. So those are my souvenirs from the trip.
The next day.
Fuck my life. Fuck me every fucking day, every fucking day.
You know what I say? Fuck that. I'm done.